Hello, everyone. It's time to spill that convention tea. I'm your host, Jared the Greek. I am with Craig Yamaguchi, and we're going to be talking about his experiences working with ballroom dances and going to conventions all across this country. How are you doing today, Craig?
Good, doing good. Just been sticking around for at mostly home working. Just keeping myself and getting some idea once the whole shelter at home is pretty much in process. Until we make the course of action for maybe like end of fall or next year. So yeah.
All right. Well, I like to always get started with people beginning with their beginning. So, what was your first anime convention?
My first anime convention is 2003 when I was invited to check out a convention in San Francisco, Japantown, called the Japantown Anime Fair. At the time, I was big into a gaming thing, so mostly just I was in the process of getting more into DDR scenes and stuff, and he introduced a friend of mine introduced the community there, so I see some great costume and so checked out the game room. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Kept on going to more to these, and here I am.
All right. Now, you're really well known amongst the ballroom dance scene, but what was your first ballroom dance at a convention that you attended?
I'm gonna say FanimeCon 2007, I believe. Yeah, 2007. The very first Fanime is Black and White Ball. Well, yeah, I think it's called Black and White Ball, the first one. And at the time, I didn't know how to dance, and I was big into partner dancing, and because it's always the experience just dancing with various people, and when I just like to dress fancy and dance with people. That's all I really cared. So, but yeah, that's the first ballroom dance type and at an anime fair. I mean, anime convention. So yeah.
So you went from a guy who didn't really know much about dancing to a guy running ballroom events. What's that transition like?
Oh my gosh, that was some. I kind of did took ballroom dance because various high school people were introduced me into it, but I wasn't really serious about it because I was big into breakdancing during my high school, and then later on, when I used to dated someone like on my first black and white ball, and it feels so awkward for me because not knowing how to dance at all is just kind of a struggle, especially I can't approach people if I just don't have anything I could show. So that felt really kind of awkward that I was like, you know what? Even like my date actually danced with somebody with more skill, and I'm like, man, I want to dance as good like that. What the heck? So that's yeah, and then that's what made me serious about taking an actual ballroom dance for real at my community college in San Francisco. And yeah, that's what got me into it.
Yeah. And what was the first dance you actually staffed?
That would be Fanime's Black and White Ball. I believe I staffed it in 2011 because the transition to be a staff is little limited, so I had to start as volunteer first, and staff spots are a little really in small. It's really small, and especially they have to put so much hours. They have to prep the setup. They have to teach some major dance lesson. And me, I just only there to assist all I could provide. So it took me many years to get up to staff. So my technicality, I Fanman's Black and White Ball 2011 was my first time I ever staffed. That wasn't my first time staffing at a ballroom dance at a con. So, yeah.
So you had, what was it like going from becoming like a volunteer and then eventually becoming a proper staff member? What were the responsibilities? How did they change? And what was your experience like?
My experience with volunteering was all I care is I just want people to feel comfortable dancing. So that is the whole point I personally learned when I was helping out with Black and White Ball is I just because I totally could empathize everybody. Empathy. I know about how it feels like not knowing the skill about dancing, and you're in this awkward thing. And I just use all the knowledge what the first like ballroom dance I took just to teach him like the basic of communication in your body and just keep it. I try my best to just keep it simple, and that's my way of just helping like 101 instead of like if you're trying to be the dance instructor of the whole lesson, like you have to teach like 20 to 50 people, or maybe as high as maybe 75 or 8 or 100, of which I heard about one of the lessons I witnessed. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm more of like like few groups the better, because I could focus on them instead of just multitask to that level of people. So yeah, and you have to put in more hours. So the hours during volunteering, it's pretty cool, neat, because you could split your hours volunteering for black and white ball or video game thing. It's a nice trade-off. It's a nice balance for me. So yeah.
Did you ever get around to teaching a full ballroom class?
Wow. I think my first one I ever had to teach people would be, I believe it was Anime Icon in Monterey Bay. This is right after I left Black and White Ball to actually try to see if anyone is interested in doing it, and I wanted to use my knowledge to assist them. And I think it's in 2013 or 2012. I can't remember. It's around that year when Anime Icon was a thing back then, and they said they want to do a formal dance, and I'm like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll do the dance lesson. Maybe I'll coordinate whatever is doing, and just offering. And I think that's probably the year I first taught the dance lesson. It was originally me and my friend Adrian. So yeah.
How'd the lesson go over at Anime Icon?
It was tiny. Like I think there was like 2 to 3, because this little anime event in Monterey was such a very, very understaffed. It was very tiny. It's a small con, and it's in a location which just felt kind of might be a little intimidating prices. So it didn't really do but it's kind of expected when you have to deal with a smaller con. It's always going to be like lower number, and yeah, it was kind of okay. So at least it was easy for us to teach them, but no. So it's,
yeah. And how did the dance go?
It was terrible. It was terrible. Yeah, because what happened was the person in charge of that con, he actually like hired a DJ, and they say, hey, if you want to record, just request some song you want to be played so we can play at the formal dance. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll just write this and that, and me and Asia were just pretty excited, because this is like, we're just all hyped. I want to see people all dress up and come around the event and dance with us. Yeah, like I said, because the con was so small and it's at a bad location, not much, 3, 4, 5, and then the DJ there was just awful. Oh my god! I mean, he just only played few beginning ballroom dance at the beginning, and then since there's just too few, that he starts like busting out his EDM stuff, right? Like some bunch of dub stuff and step, and I'm just like sitting here like, what the heck is this crap, man? This is not how this is so out of place. Like, I know there's nobody here, but yeah, he just kind of gave up. It just did our own thing, and there's nobody there except us. Just had to sit there and watch, and I'm just cringing. Yeah. And at that experience, I never really was kind of highly against having people hire a random DJ to do your dances. Yeah, because of that experience. Yeah.
Was that the worst ballroom experience you ever had?
Actually, I experienced a lot. surprisingly enough, I actually experienced worse dance than that now. There's two of them. It's Sac Anime. I believe it's Sac Anime. The last time they hosted the Starlight Ball. Oh my gosh! Because in the past Starlight Ball for Sac Anime, they were really like very consistent with dance lesson and the ballroom dance. That's why it was a huge. This is why it's one of the popular events at Sac Anime back in the time. And then there were some couple changes that the one of the people who were involved who made those happen weren't invited back, and they had to pass it down to another maid cafe. And then all of a sudden, like I was like, "That's weird," right? When I overheard it, I mean, I heard it from a Facebook page, right? And then after that, like me and my other friend, we just got in as press because we want to take notes from the Starlight Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And our biggest concern was why there's no dance lesson, which is really out of place. So, which is not normal, man. A lot of people all dress out coming here. And the first thing, biggest insult to what I saw was the host wore like a t-shirt tuxedo, and I'm like, is this how you present everybody? You guys are strict with dress code, and then all of a sudden when they play, they look at they played it from a YouTube side, playing on this trashy K-pop music that doesn't even belong to dances. And the first 30 minutes, I'm just there, sitting there, just cringing, like, oh my God, why am I listening, man? Oh my gosh, this. And yeah, I think a lot of people, it's a huge slap in the face for the entire attendee to like, all this great, consistent ballroom dance went to like a garbage prom thing, which you could have done other dance event for free. And this, you have to pay extra to get in with the badge. So that's a huge slap in the face for most majority of the attendees. And the other bad one, Detroit, Yomakan, I think it's like 2-3 years ago, was when that one cost $10 to go for the charity ball.
Mm-hmm.
And dance lesson was kind of decent, you know. They teach the basic waltz and swing dance. And one of my favorite acquaintance who's big into dancing was there, so I was looking forward to it. Then when I actually arrived, the music plays. It sounded really goth. Like, this is weird. I'm cringing. Like, this felt like. And then other music, he tried to play waltz, Viennese waltz, but it sounded like it's entirely played by carnival music. So I read the bio of this DJ that he's like one of those big DJ name from a different city or something. And I just felt like inviting this DJ to perform your formal dance is very, very out of place. And this guy does not know how to play anime music or ballroom dance choices. He's performed at a wrong event. And I don't know, I couldn't believe people decided this was a good idea. And I left in 2 hours because sticking around the whole 4 hours, just 3 or 4 hours, is brutal for me.
I can imagine.
It was so bad. I had to go to my hotel room that has a Jameson whiskey. And yeah, after it was done, I'm all, got a hangover. Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Oof. Well, let's move away from the bad events. Let's talk about some of the good events. What are some of the best dances you've been to?
Okay. Anime convention wise, right?
Generally, yes. We'll look at other events after.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You said regular dances, right?
A ballroom in general, since we've been on that topic.
Okay. My favorite this wasn't a vintage yet. My favorite was the back in the day. It's Gaskell Balls when they hosted the Victorian Ball in Oakland. It was one of the most beautiful venue. You have a lot of space to do a circular like Viennese waltz,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people dressed really, really fancy. It was kind of like a inspiration that I wanted to see it happen to future convention dances, but nobody ever could pull it off because I know the outfit is very extravagant, but I just felt like if people tried or work together or something. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. I mean, there is also Labyrinth of Jareth Ball, which is one of the most over the top costume ball I've seen, but they're not really catered that heavy on ballroom dance. So I didn't care much for it. Didn't really appease me that I wanted to, but I love the costume. I love the
Yeah.
costume. But yeah, I'm gonna say anything by currently if they're open. I would recommend periodic recreation group, aka Peers, Peers. They're the dance group I know in the East Bay of Bay Area, and they're very consistent with their ballroom dance. They got a lot of nice treats and stuff and all. So that's one of my favorite event I like to go to because I'm very big into Victorian era like balls. So yeah.
And what about at anime conventions?
Okay. Um. Wow. I'll give you the top three.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Anime Boston because Anime Boston has tried to use new ideas. They did a charity ball. Well, originally it was just one charity ball, but in the recent last year, they actually tried out two dances. Charity ball for the fancy waltz, tango, or anything. But now they got another semi-formal, which they could target for salsa theme. They could do a they were about to do the swing dance theme, which is really unique. Which is I haven't seen other dancers pull off, and I wanted to see more of the conduit. They were about to pull off tango this year, but unfortunately they announced the postponement of Boston. So.
It's very sad.
But I do respect Anime Boston for the consistency, so I enjoy that one. Also, I gotta say, Anime LA's formal dances is very consistent with bringing in a great cosplay outfit because of the royal court thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really nice. They got a category for queens and all that, and they got like the good charismatic. There's different prizes. It has gone some little hiccups here and there. One of them is they always had issue with the locations thing because it gets super packed. So that is the biggest takeaway I got with this event. But they draw a lot more fancier cosplay things. So I think I'm in the process of might be in charge of the upcoming ALAs for their dances, and we're gonna do our best to give the best show for them. So looking forward to it. And number one is Phantom's Black and White Ball. Reason why is they've been doing it since 2007. They gone from just a basic dance to they evolved a lot. Like they gone to one venue, they tried this venue, and it's grown and more. They got incredible dance lesson and they got dance performances. And then it got to the point. It actually attracted some people out of state to finally staff. One of them was coming all the way from Ohio to staff for Phantom Black and White Ball last year because she experienced it a few times and she just loved it. And plus, this person, she's in charge of Ohio's anime con scene. Yeah, that's a huge testament how good Black and White Balls has been. Yeah, very, very over. They're on top of the game. Yeah. And it's hard to replicate it too.
Yeah, I've gone to that ball several times, and I've generally had a very good experience.
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, I took a lot of inspiration what I learned from Black and White Ball, and I do my best not to like try to be like under their shadows. I just took a inspiration, and that's why they have so much respect for him, So yeah.
Well, you've been to dances on both the East Coast and the West Coast. Have you found any significant differences in how they run things?
So Anime Boston's dancing felt a little missing. It is different because when I went, it's one of the okay. I've been to Katsucon and Anime Boston was the two cons. I felt like I know Katsucon was a little underwhelming because it's only a 2-hour event, but at least it's pretty standard, you know. Then Anime at Boston, I just felt like the crowd over there needs a little be more out of their comfort zone to just go out and dance with more people. I noticed like it's a lot of shy flowers out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really not as open like Bandmit's Black and White Ball and ALA, because I felt like I had more people to dance with. Even like Komori cons, I there was plenty of, yeah. But Anime Boston, for some reason, there was they needed to figure out unique ways of how do you encourage more people to go out and dance, you know, than just having guests. If you know somebody knows that is staff, you just come there and just say, hey, you want to dance or something, or you want to be open about dancing. I think that's the one difference I noticed about the East Coast. And plus, I think Anime at Boston is a much better in terms of variety for East Coast for now, because I noticed the issue with some other out of state that's not in California.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really, they kept it either too simple or they haven't really opened up their horizon. Yeah, you know.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's probably one. Yeah.
And what are some of your best memories of convention balls?
Oh, whew. I am going to say Katsucon, because I know a lot of people talk about Katsucon like it's like the most extravagant cosplay you'll see that might rival Anime Expo.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went there, I just took a dance lesson. I just wanted to just prep up for whatever. Then met a really there was a person who was involved with it. I became Facebook friends later on. So I was like, yeah, I just kept it a little simple. I don't want to show off too much because it will intimidate it. I just don't want to be the guy like, yeah, I already know this stuff and all that thing. You know, I just try to keep it a little humble. I just like, yeah, I'm just going to see how it goes, you know. Yeah, I love to. I just want to brush it up. So I just my own business, dancing with people. I like the system. They put like wristband to know you're open to dance, you know. So that was a nice idea. So dance with plenty of people. So I was asked by random staff, even though I was just, you know, doing the usual. And I was like, when they was like, hey, can I talk to you over here? It's like, oh, staff needs to look for me? And I was freaking out, right? And it was like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? You know? I was like freaking out because, you know, you're thinking if I went too far and I just harassing people for for the wrong reason, which nobody wants to be, you know?
Yeah.
So I came out to the staff. One of the staff came in here. It's like, hey, you actually won the best dresser row, but don't tell anybody yet. And I'm like, what? So what they were telling me is they're just informing me that I won, that they want me to wait until they announce me up on stage. So I think that's their way of trying to avoid if I leave too early.
What were you doing, by the way?
Yeah. I forgot to tell you guys, that time I was cosplaying as a Tuxedo Totoro at that time. It's one of my best cosplay I've worn, like a lot of formal dances. Like, yeah. And when I hopped there, I've been crowned as best dress mom along with this another cosplayer who came all the way from Canada. And at the time, and I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. I just didn't really expect somebody like me from the San Francisco to win something this far away. So it was just a great memory for me. I mean, yeah, that's probably my most memorable moment. And after that, the dance, I was asked by one of the assistant of the dance lesson she just came up to me and just asked me to dance with her. And she was one of the best dancers at Hanmiko I ever did. And I was like, best swing dance. I had so much fun swing dancing. So that I have to say that year, Katsucon I think it's 2016, I believe was, yeah, I'm going to say, no, it's 2015. Yeah. That was the most memorable anime formal dance I got to experience because I would never expect anywhere else I will win a cosplay contest, you know? So, yeah. So.
Getting away from balls and things like that, what is just one of your favorite convention experiences in general?
Oh, let's see. I am going to say Anime Expo because I know it can be very overwhelming and it has some ups and downs compared. That's why I don't like to call it the perfect con experience for other people. I would have recommended other ones. However, I love the cosplay I'm seeing there, and I love showcasing cosplay work over there. And it's always a great time to interact as much people and just, whether just outside. And I think the year I was cosplaying as my neighbor Totoro Tuxedo, I think someone was destined to actually have me and Dust Bunny to take pictures together, meet and take pictures together. So I was just wandering, showcasing mine, and yeah, met Dust Bunny right there. And oh hi, I'm Craig. You want like to take a picture, And they showcased the picture, and the internet exploded. So that was actually This is It was. I have to say, for some reason, any cosplay experience and memorable moment, I think Anime Expo actually tops that. I didn't. I thought I was gonna experience it outside or in FanimeCon, but I think Anime Expo probably tops that for the most memorable thing.
That's great. Is there any advice you would give to people who want to either run a ballroom dance or volunteer for a ballroom dance?
Oh, yes. I want my biggest advice is have a good open mind. The reason why open mind is important is if you're trying to, especially for people trying to choose music, is you gotta learn about what it is you to being a fan, and also a nice balance of is this song will match the ballroom dancing as a dancer. And if you don't know that answer, just come to ask another person who specializes that category. Like go talk to a real, actual experienced dancer, like a swing dancer, like a waltz person, anything like that. And if you need to know which anime is actually trending that you want to hit the right mark, go ask a person on Facebook or fans, and pay attention to I believe any anime convention you go to, and if you see a trend of a lot of cosplay, you notice this thing, you might consider just do some research about what music might be in there. Hopefully, you have gather up some idea, and make sure you talk to the experienced dancer. So you just have to understand both perspective as an anime fan or video game or nerd, anything with dancers. If one is mislapping everything, I think it'll be lose. It's either it loses its meaning of being a fan at an anime con at dances, or it feels a little awkward because you didn't really. Just because you like it doesn't mean others will. So that is the best advice. I try my best if you're gonna plan on dancing and all that thing. It takes a lot of more members or a whole team to pull it off.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Craig, this has been wonderful. Our time is just about up. So where can people find you online if they have questions and want to know about your next dance you're going to host?
I host. I like to ask everyone. We do a dance event called California Cosplay Gala. It's you could just go to the Facebook group. We have just look up California Cosplay Gala. And I also do another Facebook group called Social Dance at AnimeCon. I do my best every formal dance I go to. I participate, post my experience and my thoughts, and I like to hear other people. I try to invite a lot of people who's into that and love to have some discussion. So yeah, check us out.
Once again, thank you very much for being on the show, Craig. I hope that when all this is over, I can hit up one of your dances again. They are always a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, we'll make sure it's one of a memorable one. We're gonna make sure it's a memorable one. So yeah.
And until next time, everyone, be safe and have a wonderful time at the convention when we can start going again.
And remember, drink your tea.
And drink your tea.